Give it up for Rory McSwiggan!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen of Belfast. How are you doing? He's all right? Good. If you could shut your wee mouths, that would be fantastic for me, so I can hear myself. I can't see you. Anyway, you can all understand what I'm saying, okay? Yeah, you can understand me. You all know what I'm saying. Because, I don't know if you remember, but a couple of months ago, there were a couple of dramas on the BBC. You know, dramas on the BBC, when they put on these actors and things. And the English people couldn't understand what they were saying. There was a drama called Jamaica Inn, and there was a drama called Quirk, a Gabriel Byrne in it, and he was investigating murders in Dublin. There's been a murder, this body's riddled with bullets. Do you understand what I said there, Kieran? You didn't, you see. Do you visit Dublin often? Doesn't really matter. But do you know what? Those people that complained about the BBC dramas and not being able to understand what people said in them should really come to Northern Ireland, because all dramas that you find that are made in Northern Ireland have people in them that speak with the most dramatic and fantastic articulation that you ever heard in your life. Beautifully composed speech in every scene. So, get out of the car now. We're going to put a bomb in this car. Get out! Put your hands on the bonnet now! What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I want you to drive it to Portadown now! Okay, I'll do that for you. That would be fantastic. Do you remember when we were sexy? Do you remember when Northern Ireland people were kind of sexy? Remember when we got the peace and all, and there was the crying game and all that kind of stuff, and there was trannies from Northern Ireland in films? That was brilliant, wasn't it? We're not sexy anymore, really, are we? We're not sexy people. Do you remember Mark Cousins? Mark Cousins, the film reviewer. Mark Cousins could review a film and make it sound like the most fantastic and wonderful film that you had ever seen in your life. He could take any object at all and make that object sound like the most beautiful piece of art. A box, for example, of Rice Krispies. The blue box with the 3 central characters. Snap, crackle and pop. The focus is not on the bowl of processed rice that they hold on their hand, but on the characters themselves and their reaction to the bowl of processed rice. For Mr. Kellogg, was an emblem of what breakfast could actually be. So that was good. Remember we were sexy? That was good. But I remember when we were sexy, but I used to be sexy, but now basically akin to the same age as I am as Lorcan McGreen, I basically look like a priest on his holidays, a fat priest on his holidays. I'm not a priest, but occasionally I will do some things that are a bit priest-like. Like the other day, this is a bit embarrassing actually, I accidentally showed some pornography to some children on my iPhone. No, I'm only joking. I don't have an iPhone. But you know, that's the kind of thing that's happening to people. You know, we don't need Edward Snowden and Julian Assange and their friends to protect us from the US government spying on us and invading our privacy. We need to stop invading our own privacy. You know what people are doing? They're texting their mother to tell her that they're horny. You know, they're tweeting. And they meant to text the priest and tell him, you know, they're tweeting their intimate moments out on Twitter to everybody. They're sharing Coldplay tracks on Facebook. You know, ridiculous, terrible, awful things. And you know, we've given up. We've given up on the traditional forms of communication. Who reads a newspaper? Do you read a newspaper, sir? Very rarely. Your iPad, your iPhone, your tablets, and BBC News Online, and Belfast Telegraph, 20 years of the Troubles, photographs, that kind of thing. You love all that, yeah. You're all that. But I'm the same. I don't read newspapers anymore. But I was in my friend's house the other day. My friend's a bit older than me, so he had a newspaper. And I was sitting reading the newspaper for a while, and I'm like, oh, this is good. This is very interesting. And I wonder, oh, what time is it? I've got to be somewhere. And I looked in the top right-hand corner of the newspaper for the time. I looked in the top right-hand corner of the newspaper expecting to find a clock that would tell me the time, and it wasn't even the right date. That's where technology's taken us. That's where we are. With technology now, it's difficult. But what I want technology to really do for me, though, is to get me up out of my bed in the morning. Does anyone have difficulty getting out of their bed in the morning? Yeah, big difficulty. But you know what? If we didn't get out of bed in the morning, we wouldn't be here. We'd still be lying in our pits, you know. So we have to get out of bed in the morning. But, you know, when you have problems like this these days, you don't really ask your man, dad, and your friends about these problems. What do you do, Kieran? You Google it, of course you Google it. So I Googled, how do I get up out of bed in the morning? I was Tom Cruise in the film Minority Report. Don't know if you've ever seen that. And what I was presented with at the top of the Google search results was a BuzzFeed list. And the BuzzFeed list said 10 surefire ways to get your ass out of bed in the morning. That's how I imagine BuzzFeed to sound. You know, it's been very sort of London-centric type of thing that it is. And there was a range of ideas, and one of the ideas was an app, you know, an app, a bit like pop, except it's got APP instead of POP after the second P. That's the kind of thing it is. But the app was called Morning Routine, and Morning Routine cost 69p from the App Store or the Play Store. And what Morning Routine asked you to do was use the barcode scanner on your phone. And what you did was you went to your kitchen with the barcode scanner and you scanned a number of items. So what do? You scan like your cereal, you go, and then you'd scan your porridge. I don't know why they made different noises, but they just did. Right? Made of the same material at the end of the day, really, cereal and porridge. So you would create a list of items from your kitchen, and the idea, and you did this the night before you had to get up, and the idea was that you would have this list, the alarm would go off in the morning, and the alarm would not stop ringing until you'd scanned all the items. You had to get up out of bed and scan the items and everything, and do all that. That was great. And so I thought, this is grand. You know, I'll get up in the morning, got to do my thing, got to do everything, it'll be great. And so I set the alarm for 7:30 in the morning. Next morning, alarm rings, 7:30. Please scan your first item. And I was like, fuck off, and took the battery out of the phone and went back to sleep for an hour. So that was me, ladies and gentlemen. That's me, technology. I've been Rory McSwiggan. Thank you very much.